Today we're visiting Albert Skipper, Skip, known to his friends. He's a local musician and I'd like to welcome him to the show. Welcome, Skip.
G'day Cheryl, how are you?
Good. And what kind of musician are you?
Still trying to work out my genre. I think being in the industry for a long time, I sort of dabbled in different things and in different styles of music. And I think, you know, that's sort of paid off because it sort of opens my mind to writing songs and all of those sorts of things. So I used to be blues, I guess. I used to be funk. I used to be... I'm sort of almost leaning towards like power ballad sort of stuff now.
Okay.
I'm very emotional. My songs are very from the heart now. Like very... I haven't been able to... Well, somebody once said to me not long ago that maybe I could call myself a troubadour.
Yeah.
Which I'm still trying to figure out what that is, but I guess if you were to look at my songs, they would be about love, about the different, the humour, the anger and yeah, the comedy and all those sorts of things that love brings, sadness, all that. So yeah, I'm a purveyor of love.
Sounds good.
That's about it.
Where did this all begin for you? What made you want to become a musician?
It started with my mum and dad. I've got Kiwi heritage in me, and you ask anyone, those bloody Maoris can sing.
Yes.
I was brought up in Australia, but I used to sit around and listen to mum and dad sing. My mum played guitar and piano as well, and dad would sing, and they both sing together and do these incredible harmonies. My mother, especially on guitar, she used to play this weird open tuning sort of thing, which I didn't know much about at the time, and I probably still couldn't do it. She used to just make it work. So I was really inspired by my mum and dad to become a musician. And I guess they obviously saw that how much enjoyment I got out of it, because they were right into their country, you know, Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn's and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Plus they also had a deep soul background behind them as well. So, and I remember mum and dad, when I got home from school one day, and they bought me a drum kit, and I went, "Wow, that's the coolest thing ever!" So pretty much that's obviously a long time ago. That's where it all started, and I used to sit in my room and lock myself in the room and, you know, practice backbeats from from AC/DC and
Yeah.
you know and the Beatles and all that sort of stuff. So just solid drumming. So pretty much, yeah, that's how it all began.
That's great. And Skip, what are the names of some of the bands that you've been in?
My first band was a high school band, and that was typical pub rock band. They were called Overdrive, the pub rock name Overdrive.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends with, though it was a three-piece band, and we were like going around to pubs and that illegally, you know, and playing. We shouldn't have been. We were just kids playing in pubs, but I was really lucky at the time. I met two guys, Martin Jenner and Mark Hendricks, who were just stupidly talented for their age. I was like, back then I was like the wild child of a small country town, and these two guys were straight as a die. It was just, you know, come from very clean-cut families and did nothing wrong, and you know, they welcomed me in, you know, to be part of something amazing that really, you know, that sort of took off from there. So I started out with those. We travelled around for a long time playing in pubs and you know, entering into Battle of the Bands and all that sort of stuff, and you know, blitzing it, absolutely, you know, killing it, and it was great. Then after that, I can't sort of remember it all, but then I met a guy called Glenn Kennedy, who started a big band, and they were called the Titanic Deck Chairs. So I joined those guys as a backup vocalist, believe it or not, and every now and then if the lead singer couldn't make it, I'd jump up and do a few James Brown numbers or something like that. So it was that funky type of thing. I was going for a bit of a hippie stage there, and you know, no shoes and all that sort of thing, and op shop clothes, and still do that.
Yeah.
Moved up to Newcastle for a while to do an apprenticeship as a bricklayer because there was no work, and you know, I didn't want to do anything else, but I had to leave town to, or else I would have gotten myself into trouble. Moved up to Newcastle and started working as a bricklayer, and then I sort of started going out to clubs and stuff, band venues, and started getting to know some of the local musicians, and played in quite a few cover bands over that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a Noiseworks cover band, and sort of, I was, you know, that John Stevens sort of thing I had sort of going on at the time, I suppose. Got into some serious metal bands, which sort of wasn't really me, but I sort of wanted to do it because, you know, I just needed to do something. So then I did my time in Newcastle and came back home. I then found Bendigo. And I started doing, I never actually stopped playing. I was doing solo stuff. I was just to get a bit of extra pocket money, so I was going from pub to pub doing solo. I was probably the cheapest musician around. You know, you could get me for, you know, 3 hours for $100.
Yeah.
You know, it was really cheap. And I had a little PA I used to cart around and set up, and I'd play at some wicked venues, as in like, when I mean wicked, it'd be like bikers venues and all that sort of thing. So, you know, I've done some gigs where I've been sitting on the back of a Harley and doing donuts in pubs and and all that sort of stuff. So, always had fun. I lost the passion for playing cover bands, and I started writing my own stuff. And I started going to jam sessions, and there was a guy called Tommy Heenan who started a jam session. I went there and started playing there, and met with Tommy and a couple of other guys, and we randomly got together and improvised a jam session, and that was the start of a band called Ethanol, or originally we're called Box. So we and the whole band, there was no song that was actually ever written out properly. There was no music, it was actually just made up on the spot.
Okay.
So we had this reputation of just bang, okay, somebody give me a key, bang, and we're into it. You know, and it had just happened, it always worked. Ethanol took off and started playing some major festivals, Polar Bay, all those, you know, the coastal sort of festivals. We really made a name for ourselves. We were known as, I guess, the underground band that made it but didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone, I mean, like, we never received an award or anything like that, but people knew, you know, who we were, you know, and I could probably go to any part of this, you know, this country, and if you drop the name, everyone would go, oh, ethanol.
I heard of it.
Yeah, you know. So, so that band lasted for way over 10 years, you know, and it was a great time. We did some amazing gigs.
Now, there was a time when I needed to sort my out. There was a time when I was way down low, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, I had nowhere to go. But one day you're gonna see us rise up. You're gonna see us shine like stars. One day you're gonna see us driving around in this big red shiny car. And when we get there, we never coming back, back. We'll be out on the bread, and into the black.
And it was a very emotional time when we decided to call it quits. I mean, you know, nothing lasts forever. We would have liked for it to last, and those guys are always going to be very close to me, family. We don't see much of each other these days, but they're all doing well. So pretty much that was sort of the end of that era, and then I thought to myself, well, what do I do now? And I thought I was pretty much going to have nothing after that. So my music actually stopped for a little while, and I decided to become a teacher.
You now have RPM. What made you start this place up?
Rock Pride Music was, I guess, going back to the being passionate about what you do. So I'd stopped playing with Ethanol, and what do I do? You know, am I going to be in another band? Who knows? But I had a lot more to give, but I was a little bit lost, and I was wondering. Well, my wife said to me, she goes, "Why don't you teach?" And I went, "What? Teach? What's that all about?" So I rang up a few principal musicians here, and I asked them about whether I could teach or not, and what qualifications do I need. And one friend that I spoke to said to me, Skip, you've got more qualifications than most people, and the qualifications you have are of being out there and having the experience of getting out there, and you know about music, you know what you have to do. And I thought, okay, well, how do I teach that? So I'm a self-taught muso. And I thought, okay, I'll teach like that. So I decided to get myself some business cards and you know, the standard thing. Bought an old ute, you know, it was a piece of crap, and put a sticker on the side of it. It's Rock Pride Music, you know, I'm going to go out and I could teach anyone to sing, and I promoted myself as I could teach anybody to sing. I don't care who you're. So, and you know, I did some advertising in the local papers, and yeah, it was alright. It didn't really do much for me, and So I was travelling from house to house, but before that, I didn't even get a phone call. Like, not a phone call, and I thought, what a waste of time that is. And I was travelling to Melbourne, and the phone rang, and I pulled over, and this lady rings me up. She goes, "Hi, this is Skip." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, look, I've got one of your business cards. I was wondering if I could get some singing lessons." I went, "Huh? Oh, I forgot that I had that business." Right, okay, so she was my first, an old lady, she was my first student. And it was great. So she paid me and all those sorts of things. That continued on for a year or so, and the students started to build, but I found it was too hard, it wasn't working. And then I come across this place, which is an empty room at the time, and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And I thought, oh, how am I going to make this work? And I don't have a lot of money, and I thought, can I make this happen? So with help from friends to help me build, I was going around to tips and basically collecting as much rubbish as I could that I thought would suit this school of rock. And everything was recycled, the furniture, the whole lot. Before I knew it, I had my own business. You know, I had my own school, a place where people could come, feel comfortable, and just pick up guitar and play or sing or whatever. You know, the rules here are less theory, a lot more rocking. So I stuck to that, that motto, and that sort of worked for me. And everything I've done's always been word of mouth. I don't, I use Facebook and all those sorts of things. I can't afford to do, TV ads or anything like that. But I believe, once again, if you believe, then things happen, and it happened. Now I have an established music school that and I believe that I'm a force to be reckoned with. I was down here, but now I'm up with the rest of the schools here. A few of the major schools are going, should you really be doing that? But, whether jealous, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm very proud of what I've achieved, on a shoestring budget. And I tell anyone that you can do that, if you want to. You've just got to do some hard work. I'm not saying it is hard work to keep this place running, because I'm always constantly chasing students. I'm lucky because everyone wants to be a singer. Everyone wants to be a singer. Thankfully there's all these talent shows and all that you see on TV. So the phone's constantly ringing. Oh, my daughter can sing. Or it's not just the kids; it's adults as well. So RPM's been travelling along for about 5 years now, and so it's probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. All it is, besides being married, So, and having children.
So what is it about teaching that makes you so happy about it? Why do you enjoy it so much?
Look, as I was saying before, music does so many things, good things for people. I'm lucky. The kids that I have generally they don't come here with stars in their eyes. They come here because they just want to sing, and because singing makes them feel good. It's like, how business people go to the gym or whatever. After these people come to sing to make them feel good. So I really like that it can really play with your senses. It can play with your emotions. I have students in here crying, just because they're either crying because they're sad, they're crying because they're happy, they're crying because they can't believe that they can actually sing, And I'm lucky. I get to see all of this. But I also make sure that the parents are involved. I make sure that the parents see what their kids can do. So we really work towards doing public performances, just community events and all those sorts of things. But I have parents sitting here going, and they're crying. I go, I can't believe that, you know, my daughter or my son can do that. They're so emotional because of, you know, whatever issues that they may have, and so that's what I love about it, is what it really does for people. And I never dreamt of going into this industry to teach, and I'm so happy and I'm so lucky that I can do that. I'm so lucky that I can, you know, play my music and enjoy it. You know, not many people get to do that unless you're a professional, you know, band or whatever. You don't get to do what you do and be happy about it and get paid for it. You know what I mean? But look, I'd have to say that there's not a lot of money in this industry, but I'm lucky that I'm passionate about it. If I didn't have the passion about music, I'd probably give it away, you know, because I'm not here to make $1 million. I mean, as much as that'd be nice, but that's not the main part of this. And there are times where it gets hard. There are times where I'm so emotional. It gets to me when I see these kids crying, I see these adults crying, you know, or just they're smiling. It gets you, and that's what I love about teaching.
Skip, tell us about the mixed nuts. How did that happen?
The mixed nuts was a bit of a surprise to me. It sort of just was basically handed to me. It was a project. I was contacted by a local business that deal with people with mental and physical disabilities, and they were looking for somebody to, I guess, give some clients some musical therapy. And so I met 7 guys who had all sorts of variety of issues, mental issues, not so much physical, highly medicated. And so they asked me to teach them how to play an instrument and form a band. I went, okay, righto, so can I do this? It's not something I normally do, and we knuckled down, but I only had 8 weeks to make this happen. So we started from scratch, and before we knew it, we had this band that were doing incredible things, that were playing all over the country. You know?
We're on the 7th day. Yay! We're on the 7th month. Yay! On the 7th hour. Yay! 7 doctors did say. Yay! He was born for good luck. And that you would see. I got $700 to say. Say now, don't you mess with me. You know I'm him. Everybody knows I am. Lord, I'm your hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I am.
My heart was sort of missing playing, and I didn't think I could do it without the band, but I happened to run across a young lady called Lauren Jennings, who was a cello player, and we walked past each other in the street one day, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I went, oh, hey! And I ran up to Lauren, and I said, do you want to get together and have a jam, you know, and see what happens? She goes, oh, okay, righto. So she turned up here, and that became, well, it worked. It was me on guitar, and I set up some foot drums, and she was on we didn't think it was going to work well, because it was funny, because I was nervous about her, because she was classically trained, and everything that I know is out there doing it. I've learned everything out there, and and then that was the start of the Lost Heart Sirens, and we've been growing ever since. And the band's got bigger. We've got extra members now. So and it's been an amazing change in my life, and it's changed my music style.
And there's a neon light across from my window. From way up here I can watch the world go by. Shadow on a street light on the pavement. In sleepless hours, there's always stories to be told. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm looking up and down for some kind of movement. I've been waiting here 1,000 days and 1,000 nights. And I'm sure that I made some kind of promise. As I look up on the wall, the clock keeps on turning. And I look up and down, and still I can't see you. And I remember soft words that you said to me. Ooh,
current band?
Lost Heart Sirens is look, I'm so proud to be part of this band. Something it's sentimental. It's got so much passion in it. It's helped me to write some songs that I think are amazing, and you know, but I'm my own worst critic. My plans for the band are to just enjoy playing, and that's where I think, you know, my songwriting's really changed. I don't have stars in my eyes. I'm enjoying playing again, and I couldn't care if I play to one person. You know, if I can make that person happy, that's, for me, is something. You know, and it's the same for the rest of the members in the band. We're all the same. We all enjoy just playing now, and I've done my time of being out there and trying to be famous and all that sort of stuff. I've been down that road, and now I'm just to pick up a guitar now and just sing makes me feel good, you know. And so the plans, look, if something happened with the band and we get offered some great gigs, you know, hopefully we can get on the festival scene soon. I've sort of got to get off my backside and make that happen. But that's not a major concern. The major thing for the band is to just keep playing and just enjoying what we're creating, and being experimental with the sounds. And I'm trying to get together a full string section at the moment to accompany the band, which seems to be a challenge because it's limited. And I'm liking the fact that we probably do have our own unique sound.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, I don't know where we actually fit in the music scene here in Bendigo, of all places, because we're just bringing something different. Hopefully, you know, but the reports are that everyone loves the music that we're putting out there, and I think that whole thing of the genre of love and all that is, I think it's almost dying a little bit. You know, you don't see a lot of, I mean, you see it in modern pop sort of love songs, but we're more of a folky sort of, there's more, the instruments are real. You know, everything's real in there, and that's what I'm liking about it, that you can be creative still using real instruments. You don't need all the technology, you don't need, it's just a matter of getting these minds together and creating those sounds. So we'll just keep practicing and see what happens. So you know, look out for the Lost Heart Sirens. So yeah, very proud of that one.
Well, Skip, thanks very much for this interview, and I wish you all the luck with your band, and thanks very much for being here today. Thanks very much for watching this. This has been another Artisans of Central Vic. Thank you. Bye.